From a very young age, I got really into video games. And somewhere around grade 3, my dad was working for Microsoft and they gave him a Kinect. So naturally, he had to buy an Xbox. And that kind of started me on a path that I'm still on today. See, it all started with simple games such as Kinect Adventures and Kinect Sports, but then, a little bit later down the line, I got my first controller game, Forza. No, not that one. That one. And this is what got me hooked onto gaming. And I would play it day in, day out. And even from that young age, I had something to come to, something to do in my spare time. As time went on, I started playing more and more games. I started watching YouTubers. I started getting really into content creation. And I thought, hey, maybe it would be cool to be a content creator, to be a YouTuber, to potentially do this for my career. So watching and playing games became my life outside of school, and I found this channel called Rooster Teeth. And they started getting me even more hooked on wanting to become a content creator, because all they did was play video games and have a great time doing it. And every video that I saw of theirs was gaming, content creation. They were laughing, they were having a great time, and I wanted to do that because it was fun. It wasn't sitting at a desk, typing on a computer, or solving some equation to get paid. No, it was fun. And then, later down the line, in 2014, everything changed. Sometime in the summer of 2014, a beta for this game called Destiny had come out. And I downloaded it, and I played it, and boy, oh boy, I was hooked. So, September 14th, launch day, I went to my local EB Games store, I picked up a copy of Destiny, and I couldn't put it down. And that game, full on, changed my life. Because about a year or so into it, I started diving deep into it. I started making characters based around the characters in the game. And I started creating worlds based around these characters to put myself into. And I realized I needed a way to get that part of me, that creative side, out. But Destiny started becoming a big part of my life. And I started watching content creators from that game. Mr. Fruit was a huge one, and he influenced me even further to want to become a content creator. It was hard work, what they were doing, but it seemed like something that I would actually enjoy doing in life, rather than be a scientist, be a pilot, yada yada you. But going on that and wanting to become a content creator, I wanted to get those stories inside of me with all those characters that I was built. I wanted to get them out. So, a couple years later, at the end of grade 11, I was signing up for courses for grade 12, and I signed up for a creative writing course for one specific reason. I wanted to get my characters that I created onto paper. I wanted to write a story about them. I wanted to somehow get them out, because I realized, well, I want to express my creativity and I want to tell these stories. So I joined that class for one specific reason, and that reason was get my characters onto paper. And it worked. But I started making characters, and I started writing the stories, and I started going into that class and just writing, and it was great. But along so with those characters that kind of originated from the game and that have been building over these last 5 years and kind of developing into something. With the content that I was watching and with the content that I was making in my head, I needed to somehow express it, and I couldn't do that in the average job. So YouTube seemed like the only platform that I could go on, or so I thought. But even so, I knew that it's still almost impossible to get into that industry, and especially with no proper way to record or upload or edit anything. So again, the dream kind of started to fade.